Hello, and welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health, where we bring you all the important information you need about NAFDAC, the agency that is saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding the health of the nation by ensuring that the food, drugs, and medical equipment made available to us are safe and wholesome. My name is Amanda Ugo. On today's episode, we begin with NAFDAC's latest stride to sensitize and educate the public.
The abuse of food, drugs, and other ingestible products is one of the major concerns of the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC. And as an agency that is ever unrelenting in delivering on its mandate of ensuring that the health and safety of the Nigerian populace is safeguarded, the agency is always ready to have all hands on deck to optimally perform its regulatory function in this regard. This is one of the menaces that the current Director General, Professor Mrs. Mojisola Adeyeye, vowed to tackle head-on since she assumed office.
Drug abuse has been a concern for me since I began my job as NAFDAC DG. I remember very well my first 2 quarters in 2018. I was virtually running after tramadol because at that time Nigeria was being rained upon with tramadol coming from India. And I was amazed. Within that first quarter also, there was the issue of codeine abuse. I remember the BBC documentary on codeine abuse, how our young children were growing mad, how women were trading with codeine. It was a shock for me. So I was faced with 2 problems that I never envisaged: abuse of codeine and abuse of tramadol. For the codeine, we did a lot. Of course, the then Minister of Health banned the use of codeine, and NAFDAC sent a recall letter to all codeine syrup manufacturers in Nigeria. We were able to recover about 5 million bottles of codeine, which were put on hold at the different manufacturers' warehouses. It took a while for us to get over this because we asked the government to refund the manufacturers. Only 2 or 3 manufacturers were actually featured on that in that documentary. But finally, the government refunded the manufacturers that recalled their products, and which we have record of. And we eventually destroyed those millions of bottles of codeine in 2021. In terms of tramadol, it was a shock to me that we had so much tramadol in 2018. But I believe what happened, from the information that I gathered, was that the Indian government was not as strict on export of tramadol until September 2018, or maybe 3rd quarter of 2018. And the unscrupulous importers seized the opportunity before that deadline to start raining tramadol on Nigerians and for our children, women, men, young people to get hooked on tramadol. I remember that we got an intelligence report from the presidency that 31 containers of tramadol were coming our way in September. our port inspection, that I gave directive to our port inspection directorate immediately, and they went on vigil. They apprehended about 21 containers of tramadol. NAFDAC has a tracking system to know where the shipments are on the sea.
Apart from the war on illegal substance, it is also part of NAFDAC's responsibilities to ensure that those food products, drinks, and other regulated products permissible for consumption and use under the law are used in moderation and only in accordance with stipulated social and constitutional laws. Excessive alcohol intake and underage drinking fall in this category. As much as it is not unlawful to take alcohol, it is out of order to drink it in excess. Also, it is not appropriate for persons under the age of 18 to take alcoholic drinks. NAFDAC has therefore continuously worked with relevant stakeholders on the various regulated products under its purview in this direction. The agency has done this through its consistent public enlightenment and sensitization programs. Another laudable step in this direction is the use of the BRT buses in Lagos State to advance the campaign against excessive alcohol consumption and underage drinking. This, the agency has done in collaboration with Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria, DBaN, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and other key stakeholders.
It's anchored by the Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria, who are producers of wines and spirits. And this is all in the spirit of ensuring that this message is bought into by Nigerians, because these are BRT buses. They ply around the city. And when they are carrying these messages, we hope that these messages drill down to the people we are trying to reach and send this message of curbing underage drinking, as well as just drinking responsibly.
We are here to, as part of our corporate social responsibility, to commission 10 BRT buses as part of our strategy towards education, enlightenment of Nigerians with a view to encouraging responsible drinking and discouraging abuse of alcohol by underage. We intend to achieve enlightenment of Nigeria. Like I said, it's part of our corporate social responsibility to educate Nigeria on the need to drink responsibly and the need for underage not to drink. If you are below 18, you are not expected to drink.
The commissioning exercise had earlier commenced in Abuja with the commissioning of 6 commercial buses plying the Abuja metropolis.
I want to commend most sincerely the efforts of DBaN, that is the DBaN, the Distillery Association of Nigeria, for this very wonderful initiative. This is an ongoing campaign that the DG NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Christiana Ade, has been resolutely committed. The DG is very passionate about the underage, the young adults that we should protect. Apart from safeguarding the health of all Nigerians, she's very, very particular that the formative years of the young ones have to be safeguarded. We need to, and that is why NAFDAC is really committed towards promoting a sustainable campaign against underage consumption of alcohol in the country. Even the consumption of the alcohol by the adult has to be done responsibly. It has to be responsible. NAFDAC has a strong aversion to reckless consumption of alcohol.
NAFDAC has, however, not allowed the accord occasioned by the collaborative efforts between the agency and the stakeholders to bring about laxity in keeping to set regulatory standards on the products manufactured by these collaborators.
We will be right back. Please don't go away. Welcome back. You're watching NAFDAC and your health.
The crux of NAFDAC's regulatory activities, in line with its mandate, is to monitor foods, drinks, everything that is to be consumed from their original source till it gets to the final consumers, ensuring that our food and drinks are not just poison-free but wholesome in all ramifications for human consumption. The agency therefore aligns its activities with international standards and laws that help enhance actualization of its goals to guarantee a healthy nation. Under the leadership of Professor Mrs. Mojisola Adeyeye, the agency continues to awaken the consciousness of the people in this direction.
Our enlightenment of the public has to increase to let people know that they cannot add chemicals into the food that they're going to eat. Even salt, which is a chemical, must be added minimally, because salt slowly will kill the heart. If it is too much in the food, it's going to cause cardiovascular problems. Not to even talk of chemicals that are not supposed to be added. So this awareness has to continue. It's a daily thing. It's not something we push aside or do 1 year and then no. It has to be continuous because of the fact that we're just, we need more education. Our people need more education.
However, much more than manufactured flavored drinks, water is highly essential to human existence. There is no gainsaying that man cannot exist without water. This makes it absolutely necessary that pure potable drinking water is available for man to live a comfortable life. For this reason, the availability of good drinking water, devoid of all forms of harmful elements, is important to NAFDAC. The agency, in its characteristic manner, leaves no stone unturned in educating and sensitizing the public as well as stakeholders on the need to have good potable water, and also to ensure that through conscious efforts, our water is safe for consumption. The significance of water globally is indeed the reason why a day has been set aside by the United Nations Education and Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, as a way of focusing attention on the importance of fresh water and advocating for sustainable management of freshwater resources. NAFDAC, in discharging its duties of safeguarding the health of the Nigerian nation, keys into the commemoration of the World Water Day on every 22nd of March. On the occasion of the 2023 World Water Day, NAFDAC organized a forum with stakeholders in the water production industry to have deliberations under the topic Accelerating Change.
The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mrs. Mojisola Adeyeye, was ably represented at the event by the agency's Director of Food Registration and Regulation Affairs, Mrs. Juliana Abayomi.
All of us seated here, we are partners in ensuring that water is safe for consumption. Without water, there is no life. Water is life. And so, as we are all seated this morning, we are celebrating life. We have opportunity as an agency to ensure that water that is consumed is safe for everyone. And that is why we are regulating. Now, we want us to know that we are very much particular about this assignment. And we thought, celebrating this day, we need to bring you together to tell you what we are doing on our part. And I'm sure you will have one thing or the other that you will want to share with us. And in the house, we have a highly intellectual person that will be sharing with us on water. So I want to say you are most welcome. The Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, graciously approved this program, even though she's unavoidably absent. She sends her greetings, and so, on her behalf, I'm officially welcoming every one of us, and I wish us a fruitful deliberation.
The World Health Organization issued an urgent call to action to accelerate progress on ensuring safe drinking water for all. Actual as an association for table water producers in Nigeria for the past 23 years has maintained this vision of a world in which Nigerians have reliable access to safe drinking water, proper sanitation, and knowledge to sustain it for future generations. Every day, we continue making strides in accelerating change across the country, reaching millions of families through production, sales, and distribution of affordable, sustainable, life-changing, purified water throughout the nook and cranny of this country. And this number grows every year. How can a nation grow and develop its economy, educate its children, employ adults, and govern itself responsibly and democratically when people don't have access to this most important needs, or basic needs, which is water?
This day is used to advocate for the sustainable management of freshwater resources. It is also a day we celebrate water and raise awareness of the global water crisis. A core focus of this observance is to support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal SDG 6, which is water and sanitation for all by 2030. What is the problem? The World Water Day 2023 is about accelerating change to solve the water and sanitation crisis. As we celebrate World Water Day today, it is clear that the world that we are living in has a long way to go to fulfill the provisions set forth in the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which is on water and sanitation. The global water and sanitation crisis. Like we all know, more than 2 billion people still lack safely managed drinking water services. And if nothing is done here, intense water scarcity will displace about 700 million people by 2030. That is just about 8 years from now. Water is infinitely valuable. Without it, life will not exist. On the other hand, we take water for granted and waste it every day. There is enough water in the world for everyone, provided that we use and manage it efficiently, but we don't.
Take it or leave it. We, the water producers in Nigeria, are the life givers.
I would like to commend the Director General of NAFDAC for celebrating World Water Day and raising awareness of 2 billion people living without access to safe water. The theme for this year's World Water Day reminds us of the cost of these failures, like Oga has said, on the billions of people who lack access to safe water. According to reports by the United Nations Children Endowment Fund, UNICEF, 1/3 of Nigerian children do not have access to potable water to meet their daily needs. As we all know, water is the lifeblood of our world. From health to nutrition, to education and infrastructure, water is vital for every aspect of human survival and well-being.
There's a paper I put together, it's a vote now, we call it water safety plans. As you have food safety and applied nutrition. So I try to bring up something on water safety plans. The critical steps, it will be beneficial to you people, water producers. Critical steps to be identified in water safety plans. That is hazard identification and hazard management. Because what we are talking about is when you take water, raw water, and you take it from whatever quality it is, and you bring it to consumable standard. How do you handle it from there? Because that's what they have been talking about. Storage, that is post-treatment condition, storage. So finally, to you ladies and gentlemen in the water industry, I want to plead with you. Naturally, Nigerians, we have one attitude. I'm the owner of my business. I'm the one that owns the money. Even when professionals come to you to tell you what to do, you still want to have a say. It is unprofessional. They are not. As I've told you, that water takes the quality of the medium. Anthropogenic activities is a major factor here. How do I mean? Your activities, my activities, is what constitutes the anthropogenic.
That is all we have for you today on this edition. Join us again, same time, same station, next week for another edition. If you have questions, complaints, or you want to report any activity of fake drugs or adulterated food peddlers, we are always accessible.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700-162-3322. For complaints, call 0800-162-3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Importing, producing, distributing, and selling fake drugs, cosmetics, and adulterated food products are criminal offenses that are harmful to the health. Join us in the fight against this crime by reporting any suspicious acts in your area to NAFDAC. Let us be part of the efforts to safeguard the health of our nation. Till we meet again next week, stay safe.